Marketing within AI-based economy. I received a lot of questions regarding marketing and where the whole thing is going when it comes to AI. And you know me, I like to go down to fundamentals. I'm not gonna bombard you in this stream about the fact that you could use AI to generate banners, images, videos, music, whatever you want with AI. I think it's at this point it's self-evident. Now, I want you to take a look at probably the most critical trend when it comes to marketing over the years. And let's me just jump into it right now. As usually the case, I will put myself aside here, and there we go. That's actually one of the graphs that I created. It's based on the data that I collected regarding the cost of marketing distribution over time. You see, marketing by itself, fundamentally speaking, it's about communicating to your, targeted customer about the product or service that you're offering, basically. Now, what we see over the years, and on one, if obviously if you're listening to this via audio, you will not see the graph, but I'll just, I'll just put it full screen here. There we go. So what you see, is basically the relative cost of marketing, distribution is basically communicating to your end customer, how much it costs, basically the cost itself of communicating to your end customer. And we see since the 1980s and up to 2020s, well, actually it melted by basically 50% when it comes to cost. We went from, TV era into internet era, and now we are in the AI era. Now, when it comes to AI, obviously in the graph, it starts in 2020. My opinion, and it's basically my opinion, is that the AI era actually starts probably right now in 2025. It's gonna accelerate in 2030. But you see, one of the things that you see is that the cost is melting down. And I'll just put myself aside here. And another graph that also I'm using very often to depict what's going on with marketing is this one. Actually, the timeline is a little bit wider. It starts in the 1950 and it goes up to, the projection of it up to 2035. And as usually the case, I'll put myself, I'll make it full screen. I'll just put myself aside. Yeah, here you go. So basically what you see here, this is the same idea. It's just that it's much more wider and, the data, it's a little bit different. But we see that since the era, obviously the 1950s up to the 1995, it was the TV and print era. Basically, all the ads, the way basically to communicate and do marketing was through TV, radio, and printing content or whatever it is. And then we had, around 2000, the boom of internet, and then the social media, and now we're entering in the AI era where everything begins with AI, where basically we're entering the AI-based economy. But we see the trend. The trend is here. The trend will not disappear. That the cost of reaching your target client, your target customers, is going down. It's going down, and it's going down exponentially, actually. And that's something that we need to take into account. Now, basically based on that, I came to 7 major conclusions. And those 7 major conclusions, like I basically extrapolated from the data that I have, from the graph that you see, from the fact that the cost of marketing is going down. So what does it mean for the whole thing? What does it mean for people that are working in this sector? Well, for people in the marketing industry by itself, when the cost of communication and distribution continue to decline due to technological progress, as I said, we went from TV to internet, and now we're entering the AI era. Now, are we in the AI era? Is that era begins in 2025, or maybe we have to wait up to the 2030s? That's up to debate. But one thing is certain, is that we entering that era, that's for sure. So when it comes to conclusions, here what we actually got. Well, first things first, we're gonna have what I'm calling the commoditization of marketing tasks. This means that what used to be premium services, copywriting, ad targeting, design, segmentation, the A/B testing, the testing between A customer and B customer, and then you're comparing all that analysis, marketing analysis, are now cheap or even free, thanks to AI tools, basically. And tools like ChatGPT, Midjourney, Sora, Runway, and others can create entire campaigns within minutes. Well, at this point, probably it's not the case. Probably you will not be able to create it within minutes. It will take probably 1 or 2 days, but we're getting there, obviously. And this basically devalue the work itself of marketers. Like generalist and junior marketers will face a lot of pressure when it comes to wages, when it comes to, even the services that, marketing agencies will have to give. It will not be based on execution, basically. The second actually, the second basically conclusion that I came is that the price deflation in agency services. If clients can generate videos, post ads, and email sequences on their own with AI tools, well, they're less likely to pay agencies or freelancers thousands of dollars for the same deliverable. I mean, the whole thing, this kind of forces agencies to pivot from what I said, from execution to strategy, storytelling, system, the whole thing of system thinking, emotional intelligence. And that's what will have to be the single most important switch when it comes to marketing agencies, obviously. Another conclusion is that the hyper segmentation and hyper targeting becomes default. You see, AI enables laser targeted personalization at scale. Marketing must now compete in a world where relevant content is no longer a differentiator. It's the kind of baseline. It's hyper customization itself. What becomes rare and valuable is the emotional intelligence, the narrative creation, the long-term community building. All of those things that couple of not every influencers, but a lot of influencers are working on. Well, this is kind of becomes the new value, and I don't really know how those agencies will be able to charge per hour for this, because a lot of it will be based on the value that you provide, the results basically that you provide, more than per hour based execution. because obviously you could pay somebody per hour when it comes to execution, when it comes to do something, but when it comes to get real results, that's gonna be a different business model by itself. And obviously marketing agencies or anyone in the marketing field will have to adapt to this. Another conclusion that I came is that the rise of AI first marketers. You see, the most successful marketers will be AI operators. It's people who use tools to produce at speed. Understand data deeply, know how to orchestrate AI agents across channels. Let's say, kind of this create a new, well, supermarketer, if you wanna if you wanna call it this way. Um, you know, the supermarketer profile that basically part strategist, part technologist. By technologist, I see that person have a good idea how to use technology, and part creator. So this a mix of creativity, a good understanding of how you use technology, and a strategic mindset. For some people, it's a lot, but that's what's gonna be needed basically. Is it gonna be easy for everyone, especially for people who are used to to work in marketing in a certain way? No, it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy at all. But I'm not here to talk to you about some fairy tales about the fact that everything will be sunshine and there will be no rain. I'm just here to tell you what's the reality, what's everything, but the reality actually will bring us in the future. So that's one of my conclusions, and it's going to be important for everyone of us, and especially people within marketing industry, to change and to adapt to this new reality. Another conclusion is the obsolescence risk. You see, if a marketer is still doing manual campaign setups, writing generic blog posts, designing ads in Canva without strategic input, they are at risk of being replaced by someone using AI tools better or by the tools themselves. You cannot do whenever you've been doing, you cannot do it within an AI-based economy in the same way that on a content that was using paper-like books for the accounting wasn't being able to use that when the computers appear and when internet appear. I mean, it's just if you see if you see the job of accountant in the 1960s versus today. I mean, I don't know any accountant that is not using at least an Excel spreadsheet or something that or any accounting software. It's just nobody is using paper-like books anymore. In the same way, marketers will have to adapt. I mean, a lot of manual work right now that the marketers, that the marketing agencies, and just people that are working in marketing, I mean, I see them, they use this old thing, they use everything manually, and that's okay. I mean, they have experience in that, but obviously when AI comes, a lot of those things will be able to be generated. So marketers will have to adapt, obviously. Another conclusion: more noise, more pressure to stand out. What do I mean by that? You see, as the cost of communication drops to near zero, the volume of communication will eventually explode. The new skill is not sending more messages, but crafting truly memorable story, building authentic trust, being human in a sea of basically automation. Again, it's about strategy, it's about emotional intelligence, it's about storytelling. All of those skills will be not it won't gonna be an option, because today, even today, like those skills are kind of they are optional. But in the reality where we're going into, where we will have an AI based economy, I mean, those skills will be essential for somebody who wants to stay in marketing. So the next conclusion that I came in, that one is the last one. Strategists and creators will thrive. You see, when we're gonna enter the AI-based economy, we'll have this value shift to upstream work. I'm talking about brand positioning, I'm talking about story architecture, community building. Customer psychology will be essential to understand customer psychology. And also, basically, influencers and creator marketers, so to speak, who already own attention, will thrive. Because you see, the distribution basically will be distribution of communications will be in their hands. It's all about emotional intelligence. It's all about strategy, storytelling, all of those things that needed to be taken into account. And obviously, also, technology will be used in its full potential. So there's no work around it, basically. So at the end, the only thing that I wanted to say, I mean, that's simply to conclude, is that as the cost of reaching customer drops, the bar for impact rises, basically. And the future of marketing belongs to those who can use AI to amplify emotions, trust, meaning, not just content. It's not just about execution. When it comes to execution, AI will be able to, leverage the whole thing. What you need to do as an individual is practically to focus on things that AI probably will not be able to cover. And, you know, when I say AI will not be able to cover, some people will say, well, AI could, AI also understand emotions because, technically speaking, AI by itself, like emotions, thoughts, language, it all on a very basic level, it's all mathematical patterns. And obviously, AI could mimic emotions. It could make sense out of emotions. But it takes a human being to pretty much have this level of creativity that when it comes to emotional intelligence, to pretty much understand and to pretty much guide AI to a certain outcome. That's why I'm saying you need to be strategic, you need to have emotional intelligence, storytelling, meaning, and create as much trust as possible. Trust is the currency of the economy. It was the currency of commerce before our modern economy. So we need to focus on the basics, to have to really truly basically thrive in the new AI based economy by itself. So on that, if you find it interesting, please put a like, subscribe, put some comments, ask me some questions. It's always helps. And on that one, I will see you in the next one.